What happens when an entitled parent thinks the rules don't apply to her? Well, let's just say she learned the hard way that karma has a sense of humor. This is a story about construction, stubbornness, and the most satisfying revenge I've ever witnessed. Stick around, because this gets good. I'm a construction foreman working on one of the most challenging builds of my career. We're constructing a house, 250 feet up a hillside, accessible only by a narrow footpath. Every single piece of material, every board, every nail, every tool, has to be carried up this hill by hand. We're literally carrying an entire house up a mountain, piece by piece. Now, our only saving grace: 2 precious parking spots at the bottom of the hill, clearly marked with official, no parking signs. These aren't suggestions, folks. These are our lifeline. But here's where our story begins to get interesting. There's an elementary school, half a block away. And twice a day, like clockwork, entitled parents decide that those no parking signs, they don't apply to them. Now, I consider myself a reasonable guy. If someone's parked there, and we don't have a delivery, fine, I let it slide. But when we need those spots, I politely ask them to move. And 99% of the time, they do. But today was different. My phone rings. It's the lumber delivery truck. "I'll be there in 2 to 3 minutes," the driver says. This isn't just any delivery, folks. This is all the lumber to frame the roof of our house. Massive beams, heavy boards, enough material to keep us busy for an entire hour hauling it up that hill. I tell him I'll meet him at the street and make sure he has space. But as I start walking down the hill, I see her. There she is, a woman sitting in her car, engine idling, parked directly in our no parking zone. I approach her window with a smile. Professional. Courteous. "Excuse me, ma'am, you're parked in a no parking zone. We really need you to move so our delivery truck can park here." Voice shifts to mimic entitled attitude. She looks at me and scoffs. Actually scoffs. "I'll just be a few minutes, and your truck isn't here. Take a chill pill, dude." Before I can even respond, guess what happens? A giant lumber truck comes rumbling around the corner. I wave to the driver, then gesture toward him so this woman can see exactly why I needed her to move. She rolls up her window, ignores me completely. So I put on my biggest customer service smile and wave at her through the glass. She cracks the window halfway and shouts, "What?" The truck is now parked right alongside her car. I ask again, this time with a stronger tone, reminding her she's illegally parked in a tow-away zone. And then she gives me the most beautiful gift. She looks at me with complete attitude and says, "Can't you guys just unload around me? Jesus, it's not that hard." Friends, that's when I smiled. That's when the plan formed. That's when I realized she just handed me the perfect revenge on a silver platter. I walk away from her car, straight to the delivery driver, and I give him very specific instructions. Park as close to her as possible. Block her in completely. The driver immediately gets it. His face lights up with understanding. We have a porta-potty on one end of our spots, and another parked car on the other end. We're about to create a 2 parking spot jail. The driver expertly maneuvers his massive truck, boxing her in completely. We unstrap the lumber, and my crew starts the long haul up the hill. But I'm not done yet. I call parking enforcement. Not to get her in trouble, yet, but to create a record of why we're blocking part of the street. Cover our bases, you know? The officer tells me she can be there in 30 minutes. Perfect. We're steadily unloading lumber when I see a kid walking toward our little parking situation. Her kid. And that's when she realizes her predicament. She tries to get out of her driver's side door, but the truck is parked so close, she can't open it at all. I watch as she awkwardly clambers across her entire car, stumbling out the passenger door. Shooting death glares at me and the truck driver. She gets her kid in the back seat, and then the full reality hits her. She's completely trapped. She comes storming up to us, furious. "I'm in a big hurry. You need to move your damn truck right now so I can go." Before I can say anything, the truck driver, God bless this man, gets this huge grin on his face. "Ma'am." In order to unload the lumber, we had to unstrap it, per our company policy. I'm not allowed to move the truck with any unsecured load on it. Sorry. Her face turns red. Steam is practically coming out of her ears. F your policy. I have somewhere to be. And then, with absolutely perfect timing, the parking enforcement officer arrives. The officer parks behind the truck, but this woman doesn't see her yet. She's still focused on us, still fuming. And that's when I deliver the line I'd been waiting for. I look her straight in the eye, with the biggest smile I've ever had, and say, "Can't you just pull out around it? It's not that hard." The look on her face when she realizes I just used her own words against her? Priceless. "F you," she screams, and storms back to her car. The parking officer is walking toward us, when this woman completely loses it. She slams her car into reverse and floors the gas pedal, crashing straight into our porta-potty, knocking it over completely. Then she throws it into drive, and tries to mount the curb to drive on the sidewalk. The officer, the driver, and I are just standing there, jaws on the ground, watching this woman completely destroy her own life in real time. She gets halfway over the curb and gets stuck. We can hear her screaming obscenities from inside her car, over the sound of the idling truck. The officer walks straight to her car and orders her out. And my absolute favorite part? The look of pure shock and horror on her face when she realizes she just did all of this in front of a police officer. Click. Click. Handcuffs. The parking officer calls for backup, and this woman gets sat down on the very curb she tried to drive over. She's sitting on that curb, yelling to two officers now, claiming we told her she could stay there, that we never asked her to move. The traffic officer, remember, she's the one I originally called, tells the other officer she knows exactly what happened. While we're giving our statements, my crew finishes moving the lumber, and the truck driver completes his report and heads back to the yard. By the end of this beautiful disaster, she was arrested and charged with child endangerment. Her kid was in the car the whole time. Reckless driving. Destruction of property, our porta-potty. Driving on a suspended license. On top of all that, her car got towed, her kid went home with grandma, and she got to spend some quality time in a jail cell. I never expected her to actually take my advice to just pull out around it. But I have a feeling that next time, if she ever gets her license back, she'll think twice about parking in a tow-away zone. Sometimes karma needs a little help. And sometimes, the best revenge is just giving people exactly what they ask for. What goes around, comes around, literally. Like, subscribe, and share.